This might not be the best time, but do you have a moment?
No, it's related to the Brotherhood, but not an official mission. This is more of a personal project I've been up to. It's an educational simulation program that I helped make for the Memory Den over in Good Neighbor. Dr. Amari wanted to try out some new ideas for the Memory Loungers. I have an abundance of stories that are suitable for interactive virtual adventures. I ever tell you about how 3Dog got that bandana he wears on his head? A mutant named Leo used to wear a shirt that looked an awful lot like it.
Who's this Dr. Amari?
Right. Sorry about that. I got a message from Dr. Amari, and the program is ready for testing on humans. Your noggin was sealed nice and fresh since the back when times, and has less rat exposure and mutations than most folk. So the doc figures you'd make a good beta tester. We'd like you to plug your coconut into the memory pod. You can be the first person to experience this. It's something important to me. Next time you go to the Memory Den, Dr. Amari will have everything set up, if you're willing to try it. And, don't get jealous. You're special in your own way.
And that's the booze.
Albeit you seem to have rolled off the same assembly line.
City boy eats at the noodle stand.
Hey there, Wanderer. Care to hear a... Wait, I know you. You're the courier, aren't you?
Sorry. Who are you?
By the glow, I can't believe it's you. Standing here, next to me. I don't want to sound too forward. I mean, we just met, but, well, I'm a huge fan. It would be my honor to help document your travels. You see, I'm a storyteller by trade. A story like yours is rare to come by. What do you say?
Hey, robot.
Oh, that's Edna. My iBot documentary narrative assistant. You could say she's my best friend and co-worker.
We give thanks.
She's a specially engineered iBot that helps me collect data from every nook and cranny of the Wasteland. I've curated so many stories over the years that I have a problem storing it all, so she supplements my armor's data storage. That said, she did collect data. She has taken a vow of silence for a couple of months. As of yet, I'm unsure of the reason. Was it something I did? Did I misplace a wire during her weekly maintenance? Did she transfer some data and I forgot to say thank you? I don't know what has gotten into her. What I do know is that two can play at this game. As long as Edna doesn't make a single familiar beep or chirp, I too will take on a vow of silence. For as long as I live, I will never tell a story again. Oh, who am I kidding? Edna, please, say something. I could change. It's no use. Perhaps sometime in the future, Edna will again sing that familiar robotic tune. If not, I'm sad to say, I may need a replacement to assist me in my travels. A robot that will act as my new faithful companion. Is she reacting to anything I'm saying? Damn.
Sure. Why not?
Great. Got loads of stories for you, but I'll try to keep my mouth shut. I'll try.
Hey.
Got a story to tell?
Over here.
Okay,
Move here.
let's do it.
You keep looking at me like that, I'm gonna start thinking you're a sin.
What's your story?
Your thoughts?
If only there was some way to get my stories to the masses. Maybe one day I could construct a great tube leading from one coast to the other. Distribute my holotapes that way. Pretty shoddy idea, I know, but a guy can dream, can't he?
Hey.
What is it? Death Claws?
Hi.
Got a story to tell? Sure
Mind a few
thing.
questions? Who are you? What are you doing out here?
That's a good question. To get to the heart of the answer, you have to go back to the beginning. It all started... Oh, not interested anymore?
Is Mayor McDonough telling the truth?
Hey.
What's your story?
Hide. Read the public for the hard questions.
Hold up a sec.
How are you? Sure
Mind a few
thing.
questions? What's your story?
The one where the hero slays the dragon and saves the day. Your story is cool too, though.
What do you want?
I'd like to find a book that isn't burnt or rotted. That, or just wander around aimlessly. I hear you're a fan of that too.
Where are you from?
Nowhere in particular, but I've been everywhere. Collecting stories, mostly. Knowledge is power, they say. Information is liberating.
Yeah?
Got a howdy.
Okay, let's talk about tactics.
Sure.
I'd prefer a peaceful solution.
The best way to fight is to avoid the fight.
Let's talk about tactics.
Sure.
You shoot first, ask questions later. Got it?
You got it. Grrr.
Okay, let's talk about tactics.
All right.
You just stay behind me. Watch my back.
Can do.
Okay, let's talk about tactics.
You got it. Grrr.
Back off.
Can do.
Okay, let's talk about tactics.
You got it. Grrr.
We're good.
All right.
Hi.
Doc, I think we have our first beta tester. I had hoped you'd be the first one to try this. Me and the Doc have everything set up for you.
I think you've stepped into the wrong place, sweetheart. You don't look like you need the memory den. Do you even know what we do here?
Amari says this modified lounger will work like any other memory den experience. You just lie down, and the machine will bring you into my magnum opus. It's a simulation of someone's memories, rather than being directly pulled from a live brain. It's a little buggy. Like this one glitch where Sergeant Plattner keeps getting pronounced Planter. Dr. Amari suggests it's something to do with the hollow buffers. But between you and me, I think she just spelled it wrong during initial data entries. But you'll be able to move around inside the sim and even interact a bit. Are you ready to begin?
Why this?
Well, I'm not going to live forever, so this could be a way to keep my stories alive after I'm gone.
What kind of memories?
This is a recreation of things that happened before I was born. And I want this to be experienced without my usual narrative flamboyance. Most of my stories turn historical figures into mythic heroes. I make the Vault Dweller and the Chosen One sound like demigods, but they were just flesh and blood people. I have even embellished a bit on the life of Roger Maxson.
I'm ready.
Just lie down in the memory pod. The doctor will start it up for you. Initiating brainwave migration between the program and the host. Connection established.
Hey,
What is it? Death claws? Howdy.
your thoughts?
Education is the premise of progress, even in society, even one like ours.
Your thoughts?
Ever tell you about the time I met Harold? Interesting fellow. He was a talking tree when I met him, but supposedly he wasn't always like that. One of the most influential corporations before the Great War, Vault-Tec would never have risen to prominence if it wasn't for the nuclear scare that swept the nation all the way back in the 2050s. As the resource wars began, the U.S. government started Project Safe House in 2054. It was the single largest national defense project in American history. Vault-Tec won the bid with a demonstration vault beneath Los Angeles. The government contracted the Californian company to build 122 vaults spread across the nation. The construction would span the next 2 decades, if not more, resulting in the creation of a network where each vault could house from dozens to as much as 500 occupants. Now, for a population of 400 million, Commonwealth Minutemen have a tradition to uphold, following in the footsteps of the colonial Minutemen of the American Revolutionary War, protecting the people of the Commonwealth at a minute's notice. Just like their forebears, the Minutemen are ordinary people who took up the burden of defending their land. They cut their teeth way back in 2180 when they defeated a horde of super mutants who had their eyes set on Diamond City. Inspired by this example, people flocked to their banner and their ranks grew. They established a base at the historic Fort Independence. As the resource crisis deepened, the United States' ability to deploy mecha divisions
Whatever
eroded,
you say, pal.
the development of technologies that would allow mechanized cavalry units to retain combat capability. Power armor started development in 2065, eventually becoming one of the greatest inventions of the pre-war world. Research, development, and countless failures paved the way for tremendous advances in military sciences, construction, and of course, nuclear fusion. As impressive as it might be, power armor could never hope to replace armored vehicles. It's the very first lesson we impart to initiates starting their training, who think they can wade into enemy fire and shrug off all but the heaviest blows like a tank. You are not a tank. Power armor was designed for its offensive capabilities. The frame, not the armor, is what makes it special, giving you the ability to carry heavy weapons into combat with ease. Protection from small arms is just a nice byproduct. Take an armor-piercing round and nobody will be keen on cleaning your power armor once you're poured out of it.
Hey, boy.
Grrr. They had long trunks, and people hunted them for their ivory tusks. You can tell a lot about a civilization by the pets they keep. When human populations are nomadic, dogs are of better use. For this reason, the Wasteland Wanderer is more likely to have a dog as an animal companion than a cat, since one is clearly better at holding the Mirelurks at bay. though most canine breeds remain largely unmutated in the Wasteland. Mutant varieties are prevalent. Radiation has given us sickly-looking mongrels, and the forced evolutionary virus gave birth to mutant hounds, who can communicate verbally with their super mutant masters. Pre-war scientists on the West Coast. You can find cyber dogs in New California, unfortunate animals caught up in mankind's wild pursuit of improving on nature. Don't you hate it when people see you in power armor and immediately think, hey, that... Humans might be social animals who favor cooperation over competition, but there are enough people who seem to have missed the memo. Raiders are present far and wide across the Wasteland, and the Commonwealth is no exception. Raider warbands with a variety of salvaged gear and improvised weapons are a common sight in and around Boston, following a broad variety of brutal, charismatic, or unusually intelligent leaders. The number, size, and location of Raider warbands changes rapidly over time. All exist in a state of constant warfare with other factions and fellow Raider gangs, forming, breaking, and remaking alliances with each other, usually depending on the resources they control, be it beer from Beantown Brewery or food from a ration stockpile. However, trade caravans and settlements remain preferred targets for all Raider gangs across the Commonwealth. Some, like Bunker Hill, prefer to simply pay the Raiders off, while others arm themselves to the teeth and hope for the best as they cross the Wasteland.